edition of the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show, which is being brought to you by Blue Shamrock Music and our buddy, Mr. Stephen Brady. We thank him for supplying the artists. And we've got a treat for you this evening. We have the one, the only Miss Diane Coombs. She's in the house, and we're going to find out a little bit more about her in just a minute. Um, this is our show after we had some really bad weather. That's right. Our studio got smacked with a major snowstorm. So it's great to be back to do our show. Kick back, relax. And for the next 30 minutes, we're going to have a great conversation with our artist. We'll find out more about her musical journey, and much more. So now let's go live and meet our special guest. Again, her name is Miss Diane Coombs. Hey, Miss Diane, how you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you. Very well. How about you?
We're just living the dream up here. As
Sounds
you
like
heard, we had a pretty major snowstorm, and so this is our first show in a few weeks. Our studio got snowed in, so it was pretty hectic.
it's just so hard to believe. Like I'm sitting here sweating my butt off. It's so hot at the moment where I am. It's like nearly 100 in your measurements. So it's hard to believe you're in a snowstorm.
Hey, you want to switch seats here? I mean, I can come sit where you are. You come sit over here.
I'll, I'll stay. It's a long flight.
Well, it's so nice to meet you. And let's start off our interview. And can you tell our listeners a little bit about you and how you got into the music industry, and maybe who are some of the artists that you look up to?
Sure. I've been in the music industry on and off for a long, long time. My dad has played in dance bands since before I was born, so I grew up around band rehearsals and hall dances, and he was in a dance band, so he played every Saturday night at the local RSL and so forth. And I started singing with him when I was about 14. And then, life gets in the road, like marriage and children and so forth, and a divorce and a remarriage and so forth. And then my beautiful husband died about 7 years ago. And that really pushed me back into music because it's a great healing thing. It kept me going. So, I love my music. I have a very diverse appreciation of music right across the board. Good music's good music, and I love the messages they have to tell. I love a story that has a song, a song that has a story to tell, and the amazing people that you meet and their stories are, it just widens your universe. It really does. And so I've got a really wide range of people that I appreciate as far as singers go, from Dean Martin right through to, Garth Brooks and Troy Cassar-Daley here in Australia. And if it's good, it's good.
So, who are some of the famous artists you've met, and what advice have they given you during your musical journey?
The most recent and the most influential that I've had is my producer, Angus Gill, who's just heading to the States at the end of February. And he is just a phenomenal talent, not only as a producer, but as a singer, as a writer, as a musician. He's just brilliant. And he has produced my latest album and put it all together. And he's just sublime. He's like 25 going on 55. Like he's an old soul in a young body. And he's just been so influential, and a straight talker, and understands how I like music, not overdone, just so that everything has its place and everything gets its place to shine. So yeah, he's been the most.
So, when you're writing your music, what does your songwriting look like? Is it based on experiences, or is it based on? I know some artists, they have a computer with all the different words, and they just kind of like put the beats behind the words. What does your songwriting look like? You're like shaking your head, like, no, 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 that's not me.
Mine's all very personal. So it's all pieces that I've lived, parts of my life, my stories and stories of the people around me. So it's all a very personal thing for me. And that's why it took me quite a while to get my music out there, because it's so personal. You hold it a little bit closer, I somehow feel. But after my husband died, I wrote a song to encapsulate him and who he was and what he'd done and everything. And that started this album off. So that particular song's called Ripples on a Pond, and it's a story of how his influence in my life and his love continues on through how I treat other people and things that I do for other people. And so all my songwriting, I can't tell you how it happens. It just happens. And when it starts, it won't leave me alone until it's complete. It just,
Ah.
um,
So, what message are you trying to send out to your listeners as they listen to your music? What's that message look like for you?
well, it is that message of fellowship, of we all share the same journey. We're all going the same direction. If we can help each other along the way, that'd be really good. And we all love and we all lose. Um, and we're so much more alike than we are different. So, and just to look around and see the beauty that's around us, like the first single that I released off this album, Heading West Again, is all about my journey from the coast over to Tamworth each time I've been. And it's just the surrounding countryside and all the things that we get so busy in our head that we don't see. You know, the little things, the little miracles that are around us in our everyday life. Yeah,
Oh,
appreciate
that's
it.
awesome. How can our listeners get in contact with you to listen to your music and even to download it?
Well, my latest single is up on Spotify and all other digital platforms. And I've got another one coming out in February. And then slowly, and probably every 2 or 3 months after that, there'll be another one until the whole album is released later on this year. So, and that will all be up on digital platforms, Blue Shamrock as well, and those places. And
Awesome. So, what are you doing right now as far as your musical journey goes right now? What are you doing right now as far as like concerts or anything right now? Is there anything going on with you?
right now, I'm out in Tamworth, which is our premium country music event of the year. It's where our awards are held, and the whole town just goes crazy for a week with music. Everywhere you go, there is music happening. And I've been very, very lucky. I've had 3 shows here already. Had a beautiful show with Angus at the Services Club the other night, and that was sublime, top musicians. Um, and I've got 2 more shows coming up towards the end of the week. And to be able to play here in Tamworth for the festival is a real treat. And there's people come from all over Australia and all over the world. We met some fellows last night from Switzerland, and it's just one party that goes for a whole week, 24 hours a day, and great music. So I'm really happy to be playing out here for that. And I'm following up with that. I've got another tour in Queensland, which is our top state, um, later on in the year. And just, taking the festivals wherever they take me.
Wow. I keep on telling Steven, one of these days I'm going to get up there and check out these festivals. I mean, we've interviewed so many different artists, and every artist tells us that these are the festivals to be at. And, with our crazy schedule right now, I keep on telling them one of these days I'm going to get down there and we're going to check it out. So,
Yeah, come and give me a call. I'll be there with you. It's so good. And you just talk to everybody. Everybody's so friendly and looking out for each other. And yes, it's an amazing event. Yeah.
so as far as the music business goes, what is like one or maybe a few things you like most about the music industry? What are they and why are they, why would you like them so much?
Why I like the industry, well, that's sort of a different side of things, shall we say. But why I love being involved in it all so much is because of the connection you make with people. Because you might not necessarily go up and talk to somebody about a personal thing, but you can write a song about it and put it out there, and someone else connects with that. And they say, oh, that's been my life, or that's been my journey, or, you can touch so many, nicely, you can touch so many people emotionally that you wouldn't otherwise do. Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah. So, and you get to meet some amazing people, and there's just something about music that is just so uplifting. And no matter what part of your life you're in, how you're feeling, whatever, it will lift you. And to be involved in that, and to think that my words might mean something to somebody else, that's so humbling and amazing. Like, yeah, I love it.
What is the funniest thing that ever happened to you on stage?
There have been a few, let me tell you, most things that me on stage. Probably one of the best remembered was because I like to wear high heels on stage, okay, as part of my outfit performance. And so on this particular stage was this little hole in the floor, you know, that if you tried to, you couldn't possibly have got caught up in. But no, I stepped forward, my heel went down the hole in the floor. I stepped forward again and was hopping around on one shoe and whatnot, trying to look like I was a professional. And then I had to go and get my shoe out of the floor in the stage. Excuse me, it doesn't always happen, but so that's a memorable one. But I've had all sorts of things go wrong. I've had mic leads drop out of mics, and excuse me a minute, I'll just go get my mic lead back, shall I? But as long as you're open and honest with the audience, they get it. They know, you know. All sorts of things have happened. I've had musos that have just gone completely on a different tangent, and you just sort of rail them back in. But yeah, the shoe down the hole and hopping around with one shoe on and one shoe off for half a song was very memorable.
So when you're on stage, how do you read a crowd? How do you know if they're really getting into your music, and how do you know maybe when it's maybe time to switch it up?
You can sort of, I read their energy, I guess, without sort of thinking about it. So you can I like to look at my audience. I like to look them in the eyes. I like to see if they're engaging because I'm telling a story to them. And so you can gauge that by their eyes, if they're starting to wander, if they're looking at you, if their energy is coming towards you, if you need to change touch. And every so often, I love a ballad. I love a sad song, but you can't do your whole show around that. You've got to keep people happy and up there. So you got to mix it up a little bit. So yeah, I just follow where their eyes are going and the looks on their faces as to whether they're feeling down or whether they're feeling energized. So I'll go with that.
Awesome. So when you get ready to do a show, I mean, is there anything special that you do prior to going live on stage?
Gosh, shake.
Would you care to elaborate on that one? No.
I like to walk a bit. I tend to walk around a bit. It just sort of burns off that nervous energy, I guess. Keep moving. Just keep moving. Make sure you're dressed. Make sure you're ready to go, and then just keep moving. Yeah, that's about me. Try not to
Nice.
overthink. That's what I find. If I think too much about it, takes the fun out of it and makes it look rehearsed. And I tend to like to just respond to people naturally. So that's what they get.
I love it. And so when you're not doing music, do you have any hobbies? If so, what are they?
Too many to count. Too many to count. But I love
Oh,
to.
we
I
got time. Share with us.
love horse riding. Absolutely adore horses, and have had a horse for many, many years now. It's been my childhood dream to ride horses, and I've followed that up as I got older. Excuse me. So I have only one at the moment. One horse is enough. So when I get some spare time, I like to go out for a ride in the bush. I'm a bush rider. So what else? Apart from music, I love to sew. I've sewed my daughter's formal frocks and things like that. I don't get a lot of time to do those things. I love to read, but gardening, landscaping is my passion. Um, I can't help myself. I turn places into gardens. My kids go, "Oh, why do you do that? You're just creating extra work." And I go, "Well, if I can't mow it, I turn it into a garden." So recently, a few years ago, I moved to a new place and had some very steep hills in the backyard. So, what do? You turn them into gardens. So I'm in the process of doing that. So that takes a lot of my time. And I don't have a plan. I just go, let's start with that, and we'll just go from there. So I love rocks and gravel and carting things around, and yeah. My kids always say on my gravestone will be a message: needs more rocks.
I like that.
Always
That's really, really cool.
for rocks to go in the garden. Yeah. So
Well, hopefully
that's me.
there's no one throwing rocks at our show this evening. Hopefully they're
No.
enjoying our show, which is being brought to you by Blue Shamrock Music. It's your friend Russell K. And
Yeah.
thank you for watching the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show. We got the one, the only Miss Diane Combs. So yeah, we appreciate her, and thank you for being on board. And so let me ask you this: do you have any favorite artists? Who are they?
Favorite artists? Well, I adore Garth Brooks. His passion in his music is like comes across in his voice, and that's what makes it for me. I love it. Oh, gosh, I've got so many, going right through the ranks, Michael Bublé, all of those sorts of things. But country artists, yeah, Garth Brooks would have to be right up there. I love the Australian Troy Cassar-Daley. He's another one has passionate songs. They're beautiful. So I would have to say they'd be my top two. And throw in Dean Martin there. Like Dean Martin.
Dean Martin. That's right. Hey, what would the music industry be without Dean Martin? I love
I
it.
grew up on him. My dad had a record and I used to play it all the time. And I said, Dad, in your will, I want that record. So I'm noted down for one Dean Martin record.
There you go. So actually, let's use Dean Martin. So going back to the day where Dean Martin was just rocking out hit after hit, and fast forward on to today's music. What is your take on the music today? Do you like it? You don't like it? What is your take on the music industry
Direct.
as we speak?
So the music, the way it's going, the actual music is
Yes. Mhm.
okay. So country music is changing, without a doubt. But then I sort of feel like it has to, as long as the stories are still there and still being told. But the generations are changing, so therefore the stories are changing and how we tell them. So I see nothing wrong with that at all. Everything, either it grows or it dies. But as long as the old is still respected and still given the dignity that it deserves in the old stories. I was at a big concert last night called Back to the Bush, and it's ballads telling the stories of the old ways and the old things that were done. And I think as long as we respect those and keep those in our hearts, we need to also be able to tell the new stories that reflect the younger people. So yeah, I think it's going in a good direction.
So you do like it then? Now, so what I'm hearing you say is that you really do like the music as it stands today.
I do, as long as it's mixed with the traditional. Yeah. So I
Mhm.
can't sort of say where my music falls, to be honest. It's just me and the way I am. But it tells my stories of today. So I guess it's a progression as well. So as long as we mix in the traditional and keep the respect for it, sure, I think it's going fine.
Since we're talking about the music industry, if you had one thing to change about the music industry, what would it be and why?
It's easier for young people to access these days, but it's not that easy for older people to access. We're finding people don't necessarily want CDs anymore. The newer cars you buy all have USB drives, no CD players. It's still nice to have something in your hand to look at, to read a little bit about that person or why they did that song or why they wrote that song, to have a picture to relate to. And that's still easier for the older people to do that with a hard copy. And that's becoming less and less available. So I think that that's a sad point. Yeah.
I would agree with you on that. Especially with us, we are an internet streaming radio station, and we support a lot of the upcoming aspiring artists. And a lot of artists that we speak to kind of like say the same thing that you are, that they would like some more availability and some more access, if you will, trying to get the music out there in different avenues. So, thank you for sharing that with us. And I totally agree with you. So let's talk about the upcoming inspiring artist. What is a message you could share with them? Like, these are people maybe are trying to get to where you are. I know you're left on this one, so hopefully,
No, because I'm
um,
still
I can hardly wait to hear your answer.
number one, and one thing that took me way too long to get a handle on: believe in yourself. Because there's a lot of people out there that are lucky enough to have their families behind them, and I applaud that no end, because it's very, very hard to do it on your own, you know, um, at the end of the day, and you have all these self-doubts, and it takes a lot of belief, a lot of faith, a lot of push on your behalf, I suppose. And I'm not necessarily a pushy type of person. But when you've got that backing out there, people who believe in you, no end, and your friends, and you learn who your friends are. So, what I would say to anyone who wants to have a go, do that, have a go, and believe in yourself. And yes, you are worth it. Yes, you are worth it. And what you have to say has meaning and is definitely valuable. Yeah. So sorry, that's what I would say. Definitely have a go and don't give up.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Start where
What's
you
the
are.
what's that
Start
now?
start where you are. Right now, where you are.
I like that. Thank you for sharing that. What's the best advice you've ever gotten in the music industry?
Be authentic. Don't try to be someone else. Be yourself. And don't pretend. An audience knows. If you're faking it or if you're pretending, they know the real deal. They know if you're being you or not. So just be you. You are you. You're always going to be you. So just put it out there. Just be brave enough to be authentic. Yeah, that's the best advice that I received, and I would pass that on as being true.
Do you ever get nervous before you go live on stage?
Always, always. Um, Sometimes more than others, just depending. Um, until I start to connect. Yeah. And then as soon as the music starts and I start to connect with the audience, and then I become the songs. I don't know how to put that. It's like I'm no longer there. I'm just the music and the songs. So therefore, my concentration and my total presence is in the music and in the songs. But I'm always nervous before I go on. That's why I walk around.
I love it. Is there anything you'd like to share with our audience this evening?
Only, what would I say? Life's short. Enjoy. My hubby always used to say, we're here for a good time, not a long time. And even through all our sadnesses or our ups and downs, this is a beautiful gift we've been given. Try to enjoy it and share it with everybody else. That would be
I
the
could
only thing.
not agree with you more. One more time, how can our audience get in contact with you to check out your music and also to download it? Can you please share that information with them once again?
Sure, if you'd like to go onto any of your digital platforms, my music will be available, especially on Spotify. If you go onto YouTube, I have a video, can't speak now, a video available that's on YouTube as well under my name for my latest single. And just keep an eye out for the upcoming singles and the rest of the album. Check me out on Facebook. I'd love to say good day. So that's it. I am in
Awesome.
getting a website up and going, but that'll take me a little bit of time.
Yeah, it sounds like you're super busy with all the tours and everything you got going on right now. And so when those tours are done, is there anything new coming up down the line that maybe you could share with us?
Um, just the release of my new singles, and I'm really excited about them because I'm really, really happy with this album. I'm proud of it, shall I say. But the songs are just, yeah, they're great. They mean something, they say something, and people will be able to relate to them. So please keep an eye out for the songs coming up. Um, they're about our everyday events. things people that will say, oh yeah, I know, I feel that, I see that. So yeah, keep an eye out for all the new songs coming up.
Awesome. Yeah. And we actually had opportunity to check out your music, and you sound amazing. And on our morning show tomorrow, on the
Yeah.
Russell K. Alexa and Shauna Brown morning show, which you can hear at 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. Just go to musicdreamsusa.com, or on Alexa, you can download the app and enable the skill and just say, Alexa, play Music Dreams USA Radio. We are going to open up our show tomorrow in dedication to you. So when you hear
Ah,
our morning show tomorrow, we're going to kick it off with a song from you, and we're going to give you a huge shout out on our show. And we just love doing that. We love supporting the artists, and especially them taking time out to be on our show. So thank you so much for taking time this evening to be with us. It was an absolute pleasure to be with you, and we had so much fun with you. Do you have any final thoughts before we close it down?
no, just to say thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's been lovely to talk to you, and to everybody else out there that may be listening, hello. I hope to meet you one day.
Oh yeah, we get a lot of people to watch the show, so we get people now, and we get a bunch of people like after the show as well. So definitely, this interview will be available on all of our social media outlets, and again, a special thank you to Stephen Brady and Blue Shamrock Music for allowing us do these interviews with you, and we had so much fun. Wishing you much success in your musical career, and I'm going to take you up on me coming down there. We're going to go hang out, and we're going to go check out some of these festivals. I got you on that.
Yep. It's a date.
We got it. All right, then. So again, thank you so much for watching the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show, which you can see every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and every week we'll have a special artist courtesy of the Blue Shamrock Music and Mr. Stephen Brady. Until the next time, it's your friend Russell K. wishing you and yours a very happy new year, and we'll see you next week. Until then, take care, have a great evening, and thank you for watching.